Welcome friends back to the laboratory. Today we're talking about sous vide. You probably know what sous vide is, cooking in a water bath, and the term sous vide means under pressure or under vacuum. And that's what I'm going to show you today, how to vacuum pack your steaks. There's three main methods, and the first method is about as easy as you can get. Buy and vacuum packed. I bought this steak. This is an 8-ounce ribeye, and I bought this from I got this at Restaurant Depot, which is where chefs get to shop. But I know Costco, a lot of different butchers will vacuum pack steaks for you individually. I like this because you can take this straight out of the freezer and right into the sous vide bath in the morning, and then you come home, 6 o'clock, pull it out, quick sear or grill, and dinner is ready. Also, the benefit to this is if you got 6 people coming over, you pull out 6 steaks, there's no waste. So definitely the easiest way to go. Now, if you don't have a butcher that is gonna vacuum pack for you, you can do it yourself with a food saver. A lot of you are familiar with food savers. I have one here. I think these work great. A couple tips with food saver is cut your bag a little bigger than you think you need it. That's always really important. I found when I first started using a food saver, I was really struggling to get a good vacuum pack. Okay, I'm going to seal this, and I like to actually seal it twice, just to make sure that we have a really positive seal. I have a few more tips here on how to get the best seal. You can do multiple steaks as well. That's the nice thing about doing it yourself. If you know you have a family of 4 and you always cook 4 steaks and 4 pieces of chicken, what have you, then you can, I'm going to seal this twice to get a really positive seal. Then you can put multiples in there. When you're sous vide, it doesn't matter. You can have 4 steaks all touching each other, steak side to steak side, just kind of all lined up, and they're going to cook evenly. You don't have to have separation. You don't have to flat pack them to get proper sous vide. That's the beauty of sous vide, is that it really is fairly mindless. Okay, couple of tips here when we're vacuum packing is make sure your steak or your food, whatever you're vacuum packing, is dry. You want it very, very dry. That is because if you get moisture on this lip that seals, it doesn't seal properly. So for that reason, I actually fold the bag back onto itself, like so. Take my dry steak, as dry as possible. If you can get stuff flat, sure, why not? But there's really no benefit to that beyond maybe making it look nice. This bag might be a little bit on the big side, but you'll see here to get it into the vacuum chamber, and when I close that, it's just about right. Vac and seal. Our cryovac, as we call it in the business, these are good to keep in your refrigerator for 30 days, at least. And in fact, with a little what would be known as a wet age, letting them rest in your refrigerator for a couple of weeks, you're only going to increase the amount of flavor that you get. You're going to start to get the beneficial aging process. So why not buy them a couple weeks in advance and get that extra flavor? Okay, there's 1 and 2. And then lastly, there is the water bath method. Let's say you don't have a fancy food saver. Let's say you don't have a butcher who has the capacity to do that for you, or maybe they charge too much. Take a freezer bag, take a steak, get it into the freezer bag, and then we're going to force out all the air in the water bath method. So this could be a big pot that you're cooking the steak directly in. I'm just using a bowl of water here because I think it's a little easier for me to show you. And I'm just going to submerge that and do this very slowly. I've discovered throughout the ages here that if you take your time and you just let it go really, really slowly, and just as you're pushing it underwater, just zip. Look at that. We have a nice vacuum pack. Now, does this do as good of a job? No, it does about 90% of good of a job as this. This is best. This is second best. This will get the job done. Now, when I'm doing the vacuum pack method, I'm assuming that I'm going to sous vide my steak for under 4 hours, immediately grill or put a pan sear on it, and then eat it right away. And the reason being is because not every bit of air is out of this. You could get some cross-contamination, some bacteria growth, whereas when you've pushed all the air, 100% of the air out, you can sous vide for longer than 4 hours inside the temperature danger zone and not have to worry about your food spoiling as it's cooking. Whew, that's a lot. This is why chefs are very well versed in food safety because we want to make sure that our dining public, or the people that we cook for in general, are safe. And sous vide is a very, very safe cooking method as long as you have that nice factory seal. This is going to get the trick done though. All right, so let's review. One, we've got the factory seal. Your butcher does this in a commercial machine. Two, the food saver, still a very, very good option. I do see a few small air pockets in there. It's really not the best seal in the world, but this is going to be a very, very good way to sous vide. And then finally, the good old-fashioned vacuum bag. What I like about this is you can rinse out and reuse these bags as well. So if you're worried about plastic waste, this is certainly more environmentally friendly than any of the other ways to go. Oh, and a freezer bag, just by the way, these are heat resistant to almost 200 degrees, so you don't have to worry about them melting or adding any flavor, plasticky flavor to the food. They really do a good job. Well, folks, this is Chef Mark. You're in the laboratory. You're at Appliance Factory in Mattress Kingdom. You know what to do. You're going to click that like button. You're going to subscribe. And thanks for tuning in.